Welcome to the UDP Broadcast. I'm Luminary, and I'm accompanied today by my hosts, Amy, the Paternal Barcode,
Hello!
Crit Chicken of the Emerald Dream,
Hi, I'm still eating candy.
and our
Um,
special guest, Bombredeemer, the originator of nothing new.
Hello.
do you like nothing? Boy, have we got nothing for you!
I have so
Literally,
much nothing, I've warehouses full of it and nothing's selling.
Nothing is on.
literally the best video on the internet about nothing. If you want to, check out my Twitter feed. I've got a link to the video. It is one of my favorites. Either way, we're a group of gamers offering informed and uninformed opinions on things going on in the industry. So stick around and enjoy the show. Today we're going to be.
Uneducated guesses.
What's that?
Uneducated guesses.
Uneducated guesses, yes. Most of the time, maybe.
I have quite the sound for that, too.
Oh, we got to hear it now.
Oh, by the way, just a warning. I didn't read any of the
The
stuff
show
or whatever.
cards?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's fine. We'll shoot it from the hip.
So as a crit chicken in true crit chicken fashion after work, since I just got off of work and I'm like, I'm just gonna go first into this. I'm just gonna be quote unquote winging it.
So is it the real question is this the Nord method or the crit method?
It's probably the crit method.
All right, the crit method. So Nord is not taking any claim to this, so I'm all right.
I hope not. I don't know.
Oh.
Unless he wants to be inside of my head and like freaking claim everything that I say as his. But
All I
I
can
am
hear
in
in my
your
head right
mind.
now as you just wing this from the hip.
Onward to
Today,
scene transition.
oh, yeah, we got to do that. Hold on.
We didn't do the scene change? God damn it.
I know.
What did we pay you for?
Well, dude, I had like 4 strawberry ciders, and I just took down a warm Shiner box. So, like, I'm done, kind of. So
Shut
this
the-
should be an
having
both
interesting
full
doors
show.
to my
mason jar.
office, and I'm overheating now, and I have booze in me. This is gonna be
sure, we're
great.
just gonna blame it on the alcohol and not the candy. Okay.
Excuse me,
Sugar
while I go
doesn't
get my
make you do
boxes
silly
of candy.
things.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the data breach that happened with 2K, Nintendanigans, which is encompassing a few different topics, and
God damn it,
misleading
Nintendo.
prices. Dude, Nintendo.
That's juicy right there. Holy shit.
So starting off tonight, 2K Games gets hacked. And not through the traditional way, through their support system. If you've ever used Zendesk to contact a publisher or a software company for support, congratulations! That's what 2K Games uses, and that's what got hacked was their Zendesk segment, or bucket, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Basically, someone stole the credentials to one of their support staff and started dropping malicious links with a nice zip file saying, hey, this is your new 2K launcher. Download it here. Ugh.
So I guess you could say they were the anti-support.
Yeah. Thankfully, I didn't get that email, but I did get an email personally notifying me that all my shit has been stolen and sold. Officially, the official line from 2K Games in their FAQs is as follows. Was any financial information taken? The answer, we do not believe the unauthorized third-party access or accessed or copied the financial information of any of our players. We do not believe is not a good enough answer for me.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting when I read up into this, it was actually a vendor's credentials that was released for this help desk system, right? I believe
Correct.
it was Shankar M, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was what the email was being signed as, but it was through their Zendesk support, and Zendesk is a third-party company that provides help desk ticketing support for large companies. And holy shit,
Indeed. So with that one login, they had access to the entire database of anybody that has ever received support from 2K that has submitted a ticket, along with their email addresses, real names, and any other information that was given as part of the registration. So
But that was only 2K people who had 2K accounts through Zendesk, right?
That was anybody who contacted 2K Games for any reason. I'd contacted them years ago, actually, to find out if it was okay to have Borderlands footage on my YouTube channel back in the day. And I never did receive a response, but hey, that counts because my shit was in that, list of things that was stolen. Fuck. God damn it.
No, and then what makes this particular breach interesting is that it was an actual internal account that took and sent all of those emails out with a zip file saying, "Hey, this is the new 2K launcher. Why don't you unzip it and go ahead and install it?" And that's where that came from, because anybody that does any type of penetration testing or understands how to examine if a email is real or not, like for real good example right now, Department of Education is actually doing a beta test for their Biden student loan forgiveness. And I'm real skeptical of the emails where the .gov accounts and it's accompanied by the account where this email originated from as a trusted account. So it makes it really difficult to understand if an email is a phishing attempt if it comes from a known and trusted channel. And that's where this particular breach takes a turn for the worse, because it was using the Zendesk and the email addresses used to distribute any type of material for whatever it is that you need to do. So if you got this email, it wasn't blocked by corporate spam filters for your public email address.
So the guys who pulled this off got in good.
Oh, they got in deep. They penetrated deeply.
Oh, yes.
Very deep.
Like people were tasting
You
metal
could
on
say,
this one.
You could say that their pull-out game was weak.
No. No.
So what does this mean?
Immediately leaves Discord.
So
A user has left your channel.
at its essence, this was actually a vendor credential breach, right? So this wasn't anything that was unpreventable. This was completely preventable. This was an outside
Absolutely.
entity within the 2K ecosystem with credentials into all of the sensitive information that is contained therein being accessed because of, and mind you, there's speculation as to how this information was leaked. But the fact that it was leaked and it was an internal account is what's important, right?
So, I'm just going to Zendesk's website right now, and I have noticed something very entertaining. They allow two-factor authentication. How in the actual fuck, in 2022, are people allowed to log into anywhere without minimum two-factor authentication? What the actual fuck? They even tell you to use the Google Authenticator to enable your 2FA.
I mean,
Why
that's
are
the
people
same
not
deal with
using this
Microsoft
shit?
accounts. That's the same deal with Google accounts. It's optional. You don't have to use it, and if you do use it, you can choose to either use the 2FA through an email address, through a mobile phone number, or through one of the various two-factor apps.
Wherever possible, don't use SMS 2FA. Because text messages are easily compromised. All it's required is a $2,000 device that you can order online just about anywhere, and you can read people's ISME number and their SIM card number. So ISME is your International Mobile Subscriber Identity, and your SIM card number that basically ties your phone number to a SIM card. You can clone that shit, and then you can intercept text messages. This has been a known weakness in text message authentication for years. Why people are not being forced to use either like the Microsoft Authenticator or the Google Authenticator is beyond me. And why
Because
would
until
employers...
you just said that, an average citizen like myself doesn't know that that's a thing. It's not out there. No one.
See, and here's the thing. as you as a person who is not aware of it, that's not your fault, and I do not blame you at all. I blame companies for allowing that to happen. What should be happening the moment you sign in to an account or create an account anywhere is you should be forced to set up an authenticator, and either you enter you scan a QR code for your existing authenticator for it to be added, or you get directed to like the Apple Play Store or the Apple Store or the Google Play Store to download an authenticator and set it up that way. That way you always have it and you're forced to use it all the time. People need to get it out of their heads that, oh, I have nothing to steal. Did we not see what just happened with Zendesk? Like,
There wasn't much to steal, but then still got
there
stolen.
was everything, but and this is the worst part, 2K Games isn't aware of any financial information being stolen. Is not aware. Do not believe. Same fucking words. So, thankfully, I've never processed any financial transactions through Zendesk, like in the form of refunds or anything else. So I'm fine, likely. But if Zendesk's services allow you to process a refund through it, who knows how many people's financial information is now compromised and out there, because Zendesk did not force their employees to use two-factor authentication. Like, that should be a part of your hiring package. You will use two-factor authentication.
So do you think that could be how they got in?
Oh, 100%. Because so the way two-factor authentication works is it's something you know and something you have. Something you know is the password. Something you have is the authenticator, even though that's usually tied to a physical phone, which you would need physical access to. So unless the person's phone was compromised and they were able to read the data from the authenticator app, which is unlikely, chances are that person did not have a strong password, and likely it was a reused password, because humans are dumb and they reuse passwords all the fucking time. I used to be guilty of that until I got a password manager myself, and now I'm not.
You know, the absolute problem I have with password managers is the fact that you have to have a singular password to unlock all your passwords.
Yeah, have a 32-character password or passphrase and your authenticator, and you're fine.
Well, where do you store that password?
In your brain.
In another password
here's
storage
the thing.
unit.
If you can't remember a 16 or 32 character password, don't worry, you're human. Not many people like me can do that. However, I'm pretty sure most of us can remember a phrase, and passphrases are actually better than passwords because they're unique to you as a person and they make sense to you. And because it's not a singular word or a combination of upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters, it's harder to guess and brute force for any sort of a program because it's a series of words and they have contextual meaning to you. There is a really, really good XKCD comic years ago that came out. If you look up Battery Horse Stapler XKCD, I guarantee you'll find the picture, the comic, and it explains how that works and why it's so advantageous. So for your master password, if you have a passphrase, a string of words that make sense to you, and your authenticator, then you're pretty well off because the password manager looks after everything else.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. You know, I was sitting there thinking, because I deal with enterprise customers a lot, and a lot of the times they cut costs by not upgrading to the latest version. I'm wondering if potentially this was a previous version of Zendesk that's approaching end of support life cycle that they're using, right? Because they just need to store what type of issues folks are having and how they're being solved.
Well, as far as I can understand for how Zendesk works, you basically have whatever they give you and whatever you pay for, but you don't have versioning in the traditional sense. Like, you don't get to stay on one particular version versus another. You're always on the latest version, and you're only paying for features that you want. The problem is, if you're not enforcing strong passwords, not enforcing password changes, and you're not enforcing two-factor authentication, And I think that's what happened in this case. And of course, Zendesk will never admit to what happened because that'll make them look bad. But my suspicion is that the person was not required to use two-factor authentication, meaning they didn't have an authenticator on their phone. So when they put in their username and password, it didn't say, "Hey, enter in your 6-digit code for your authenticator to approve or deny the access request." And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And that's something that employers need to get a handle of and realize that gone are the days where you have security through obscurity, and you need to start enforcing this on your employees. It doesn't matter the cost, because the cost of a black eye of having a breach is far greater than the cost of having your employees spend an extra few seconds authenticating to log in.
Indeed. And this is even the integration where whenever you actually contact support or accounts and whatnot, where you have to provide them with a security code. Like this is on the level of the actual user that the password is actually released and they got in. And you're right? The I think I'm rambling on.
Well, what I found here is a quick look in the Zendesk Admin Center.
Mm-hmm.
This line tells me more than what they wrote. You can require two-factor authentication for all agents and administrators, or each agent or administrator can set up two-factor authentication for their own use. That sentence on Zendesk's website tells me that it is not mandatory, it is optional. So for this breach to have occurred, tells me that 2K Games, through their Zendesk portal, did not require two-factor authentication, and Zendesk themselves did not require two-factor authentication for all people accessing their content. And that's a failure of both companies, both 2K Games for saying, you want to do support for us, great, but you're going to have an authenticator. And that's a failure for Zendesk to say, hey, you want to buy our services? You're going to use an authenticator. Like, it's 2022. This shit has been going on for, since at least 2005. Whenever the hell, like the first company I know that I can think of off the top of my head that had an authentication system was Blizzard with their physical key fobs.
Oh man, I remember
and that was
those.
What, 2006 or 2007, somewhere in there?
Oh yeah.
So two-factor authentication has been around for decades at this point. Why is it not mandatory? Like, it should not be an option. It should be a requirement for employment or access.
I mean, even
whether you're a customer or a client, or like a customer or an employee, it should be a requirement everywhere.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree.
I'm done ranting.
Well, no, it's an important rant. I mean, even I have two-factor authentication on anything that I do nowadays. Like, if the site doesn't offer two-factor authentication either by email or by authenticator or SSMS or anything like that, it's just not in the cards. I can't risk anything.
No, and I agree with that. There are precious few places I go to that don't offer 2FA, and those places have, received a very, very nasty email from me saying, "Why the fuck don't you offer this?" Because it opens up liability, really. Because in this day and age, there should be no reason why a company is not requiring it, and if you aren't, you're willfully negligent.
There should be no reason why in this day and age that companies, when you go to sign up and create an account, are telling you what you can and can't use in your password.
What do you mean?
I've had a couple of websites and applications or games or whatever that I've gone to create accounts for. And in the password, it says that you can only use specific characters.
Oh, yes, I've seen that. where it's like you can't use special characters, you can only use letters and numbers. Or
Yep.
in one case of a very important company that I had to register an account for, they wouldn't allow special characters as the leading character. So the very first character in your password could not be a special character. That tells me they don't have their database set up correctly, and their the password field parsing set up correctly, where it should be treating it as an actual text string, not as an argument, because most special characters are treated as arguments to a string of characters.
You know, I code, and I never even thought of that.
And it's something that most people don't. And it's like, why are you telling me I can't start with a leading, like, why can't my leading character be a special character? Other than you don't have the parsing of that field set up correctly, so it treats it as an argument. Like, say, for instance, in a Boolean argument, and this is going to get into a little bit of programming world. I apologize if you are not familiar with this, but the exclamation mark equals in the programming world is the same as saying not equal to. So if you start a password with the exclamation mark equals, and the site says, "Oh, you can't have a special character, to start your password," to me that tells me that whatever you're using to parse that password is looking at the exclamation mark equals and treating that as not equal to, and then ignoring the password. It's like, that should be string text. Everything in that field that is typed should be taken as string text and not as an argument. And if your website is treating it as an argument, your website is broken and needs to be fixed.
Absolutely. Like I code in Python quite a bit, and one of the things that I run up against, because I'm a SQL specialist, is SQL injections. Right.
Yes, 1 = 1 is my favorite.
Well,
it still works.
Indeed. I remember you were harassing the Russian hackers with select 1 = 1.
Yes, and it works.
That was like a year ago or 2 years ago.
Still do it. Select star from 1 = 1.
What does that do?
So select star where, well, here, let me go find the actual string because it's really funny. What it does is it causes the instance of that SQL database to hang from ime21@twitter.com.
So you just basically put the bot,
put it
I'm
into a
guessing,
counting
into a
loop.
loop? Oh.
And it absolutely breaks. And it is the funniest shit ever because there's no reason for it. So, yeah. So the argument I have is while 1 = 1 begin, select I, end. And what that means is while 1 = 1, which is 1 = 1 all the fucking time, so infinity, begin selecting the letter I and end. So for each time that 1 = 1, find the letter I and select it. And that causes that instance of the SQL server, that thread of the SQL server, to hang. And I've actually seen Twitter bots break and stop posting for hours until someone manually resets the SQL database.
That is what is known as an IME injection.
I'm going to agree with that.
It's the funniest thing ever because it actually legitimately works, because a lot of people who make spam bots and horrible bots on Twitter don't take the time to code their bots correctly to ignore SQL arguments. So when you send them, because a lot of people use MySQL because it's free, because what they use is they use a database on the back end to store all the text that they're going to send and the phrases, and it's usually something inflammatory, of course. And I mean, they're trying to get good. They're trying to up their game and actually have coherent sentences. But I can usually tell when I'm talking to a bot. But they don't protect the bot against SQL arguments. So when you tell them 1 = 1 begin select I end, or sorry, while 1 = 1 begin select I end, that tends to cause the thread of SQL to hang, and then whoever's operating that botnet has to go and find that one that's using that one thread of SQL that's using 100% CPU and reset it.
And that's literally only because the implementer did not implement any type of async IO, right? Single
Exactly.
threaded.
So
Like
speaking
I have,
about Twitter shenanigans,
There
there's
you are, Crit. I was wondering where you were.
I mean, I didn't want to like spoil your fun, but we're having your own fun on Twitter right now too.
I mean, which time were we talking about earlier today when I was going after a certain someone we'll be talking about in a few minutes?
Yes.
That guy is a fucking clown.
Well, let's go and accelerate that, shall we? Let's move on to
Whee!
Nintendanigans. Let me put a stream marker down. There we go.
Nintendo, what have you done?
Man.
What haven't they done?
So this is actually a wrap up from last week where we talked about Mackenzie with Aston Carter, who was a vendor for Nintendo of America as a QA tester for Smash Brothers. They were retaliated against by Nintendo for asking King Bowser, I can't remember his exact name at this particular moment,
Dick face.
Dickface King Bowser, what his thoughts were on the idea of QA or just unionization in general. And Aston Carter had come back and said, hey, that question was really a downer, and had spiraled down into them being terminated due to leaking information, which was bupkis, and a labor retaliation claim had been filed with the NL. What was
National Labor Relations Board, NLRB.
NLRB. I couldn't remember the acronym at that particular moment. But with the NLRB, and they had actually taken and settled this, while Mackenzie wanted a written apology by Bowser and whatnot.
Doug Bowser is his name.
Yeah, it's literally Bowser. Like, what was it? Whenever he took office after, I forgot who it was. Didn't matter. Bowser's hilarious. After he took office.
I'm sorry, I broke you.
You did. Like the whole constant stream just stopped. Either way. So what happened was the NLRB had said, okay, so you can have $26,000 in back pay and pay. I think it says pain, but what it means is interest and damages and pain, which is pain and suffering, which is good, right? Especially since this was filed in September. That's reasonable. But
oh, Nintendo.
Oh, Nintendo. From here, I'm letting Imey lead because he has the most information on the shenanigans with Nintendo publishing a Platinum Games game known as Bayonetta 3.
So I'll dive into that in just a sec, but as part of the settlement with Aston Carter, which was Mackenzie Clifton's agency, staffing agency that she was hired through, Nintendo put up the following notice for 60 days only in one of their offices. And I quote, "You have the right to talk about a union, and we will not," emphasis is theirs, "stop you from talking about a union." The notice reads, emphasis is on the original, "We will not fire you because you exercise your right to raise issues and complaints to us on behalf of yourself or other employees, including related to the topic of unionization. We will not fire you because of your union membership or support." That is the most bullshit response from a company. Actually, it's probably in the top 10 bullshit responses from a company I've ever read. But basically, they only left this up for 60 days. Fuck you, Nintendo. And speaking of Nintendo, how many of you have ever played Bayonetta 1
Not
or
me.
2?
I have
If
not
you've
played,
played
but I had
one
a
or
friend of
two,
mine in high school who did.
there you go. So you might be well aware of the main character from 1 or 2, voiced by Helena Taylor. She's a fantastic lady. She spent 7 years in acting school and working with a very famous voice actor coach to hone her craft, and she's amazing at it. Now, she's not involved in Bayonetta 3, and for those of you who don't know, the company that produces Bayonetta, Platinum Games, basically sent out a statement saying, "Oh, our schedules didn't align and we couldn't book her." Well, that's a pile of shit because
Bullshit.
today, the 15th of October at 9:21 a.m., I have the tweet in front of me, the series of tweets. She decided to say fuck her NDA and said basically her first offer that she received from Platinum Games was such a kick in the uterus, not her words, mine, that she actually had a friend write to the head of Platinum Games, whom I will name in just a moment, because I've been spamming him all night, hoping to get blocked by him because he's a fuckhead. She had him write a letter in Japanese to this guy saying, "Hey, that's really, really substantially low. How about we work to something a little bit more amicable?" So this dude, this fuckstick, this waste of human flesh, decides to respond to her reasonable request with an offer of $4,000 US. No residuals, no nothing, one time, flat fee, $4,000, take it or leave it. Now, $4,000 sounds like a lot of money until you think of the fact that perhaps with the number of voice actors out there and the number of projects out there, competition is pretty tight. So you might work on one project a year. Under that assumption, how are you supposed to live on $11 a day?
Which is 66 copies of Bayonetta.
Yeah. So this fuckhead thought that she was worth less than 66 copies of Bayonetta. That's all she's worth to him. Are you fucking kidding me? That is beyond ridiculous. To me, and I even, like, I'm a consumer. So I don't have the ins and outs of all things that are in the gaming industry, but I do know one thing. My expectation as a consumer is that she would have been paid at least a minimum of $80,000 for the voice acting work she did. That's minimum. And I also strongly believe that, she should have been paid way the fuck more. And I mean, that also goes to all the other people in the gaming industry. They should all be paid what they're worth. But holy fuck, $4,000. $4,000 for someone who developed and created that character and brought life to that character. Sorry, created is the wrong word, but brought life to that character. $4,000.
So yeah, let me give you perspective. See, when we talk
Rage.
about $66 or 66 copies of Bayonetta, right?
Yep.
You know how much the original Bayonetta sold for units worldwide in 2010?
No idea.
1.35 million units.
Nice.
So 1 million versus 66 copies. Come on now.
1 million
Exactly.
units
And
at what
Bayonetta
price?
2 grossed $450 million worldwide, not counting merchandise sales.
And all they want to give her is $4,000.
66 copies. Are you fucking kidding me? And the asshole du jour, chief game designer, director of Biohazard 2, Devil May Cry, Beautiful Joe, Okami, Bayonetta, The Wonderful 101, and Project GG. None other than Hideki Kamiya. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. You can find him on Twitter at PG_KAMIYA. He's such an asshole.
Get that up on the screen, Lumi.
I will absolutely call out his assholiness because his banner for his fucking Twitter account says the following, posted over and over and over. I'll keep stating that I block foreign language posts, in brackets, of course including English, for a while. That lures lots of insects to block. Very funny to see. Fuck you, you're calling me an insect. Go eat a pile of shit.
Because that's
perhaps
going to
even a
help his sales, right? Calling people brainless insects because they want to support the people that actually make the game what it is.
exactly. And then
And bring life
he
to the
goes
character.
he has another tweet that he's copied and pasted into this wonderful banner. Repeat for insects. Because apparently we're all fucking insects. As I've told you, one with a bajillion zeros times, I'm still blocking foreign language posts, of course, including English. Be careful. Insects which don't understand language and never going to care about what I tweet and just post with knee jerk instinct. None of that makes sense in English at all.
That's
All
all
that
xenophobia, man.
that is
Yes.
pure
Yes.
xenophobia. This guy is a complete fuckstick. And what's really nice about Helena,
And yet,
or Helena, sorry.
somehow, individuals with that mentality and personality end up at the top of
Oh, of course.
companies worldwide.
He's an absolute piece of garbage human being who, unfortunately, has to be classified as a human being, but he's a big fuckstick. Anyways, Helena Taylor. She goes on, I think it's in video number 3 that she posted, where she actually said that low ball of an offer actually caused her to become suicidal. That in and of itself is bullshit. Someone who considers taking their own life because they're so poorly valued by someone they've put their something they put their heart and soul into is beyond bullshit. The world almost lost the originator of the Bayonetta voice.
Only because someone wanted to be stingy.
Exactly. And the only thing she's asking you to do is she's asking 2 things. 1, you boycott Bayonetta 3. And 2, if whatever money you were going to spend on Bayonetta, donate it to charity instead. A charity, doesn't matter what the charity is, a charity of your choice. That's all she's asking for. And that is admirable on her part. She absolutely got fucked over by Platinum Games. Platinum Games is absolutely a company I will never buy a product from. I've never played the Bayonetta series, and I don't intend to anytime soon. And Nintendo is just digging themselves in more of a hole with their bullshittery.
If I remember
It's not
correctly,
hard to pay what people are worth. It really isn't.
Platinum Games is also the original originator of the Saints Row series. Are you familiar with that, Amy?
Yes.
Are you kidding
I
me?
love that series, and now I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I have always wanted to play that series, and now I don't even want to buy it.
Great. Now
I
I
have
can't
Saints Row
swing around a dildo bat. Oh.
I know. Beating people to death with a dildo bat was one of my favorite things to do in Saints Row the Third. I have Saints Row 3 and 4. I'm just checking my Steam library.
So
I do have Saints Row
backing-
2. I've never played it from the looks of things. But Saints Row the Third, I absolutely loved it. I've got 310 hours on that game, and I have
wow.
50 hours on Saints Row 4. They're absolutely phenomenal games. I love them. Will I ever play them again? Probably
No,
not.
because we're brainless insects, and the only thing that they are looking after is their own personal wallets.
Right,
Exactly.
but by playing the game, you're not spending money on them. Buying the game is a different story. So if you already own it, keep playing it.
Or if you don't own it, pirate it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, for the sole purpose of this particular voice actor being offered a lowball offer and being lied about, and them having to break their NDA of like, hey, behold the fuckery, right? And this shitbag xenophobe saying, hey, go fuck yourself.
I'm going to block everybody that doesn't speak Japanese. I'm going to block everybody that doesn't speak Japanese because you're brainless insects. But I want your money. Wait, I want your money. You're insects.
Brainless
Money.
insects who don't understand language.
It gets even worse because I was reading some of the comments on some of his posts. People who are asking him in Japanese, not even Google translated, but people who fluently speak Japanese are getting blocked by this fuckface. It's to the point now where Twitter has locked his account because they think it might be showing some unusual behavior.
Well, restricted, so he can only respond through quoted tweets.
Well, welcome to the unfortunate side effects of the internet. Echo chambers. Surround
Well,
yourself with only the people who you want to hear the opinions of. and
This
that's
is what
all
I
you'll
like.
hear.
Twitter actually says when you try and go to his Twitter page, caution, this account is temporarily restricted. You are seeing this warning because there has been some unusual activity from this account. Do you still want to view it? Yes. Why? Because I have been shitposting Cope and Seethe GIFs all fucking afternoon. And will I continue? Yes. Because he can cope and
Absolutely.
seethe all he wants until he starts paying people what they're worth.
Further on this, the new voice of Bayonetta is Jennifer Hale. And if you're not familiar with who Jennifer Hale is, Commander Shepard, the female Commander Shepard, is probably one of the most prolific. Jennifer Hale is one of the most prolific voice actors in the gaming community and actually has a Guinness Book of World Record for the voice acting work that they have done. So let's take this into perspective, right? This shitbag Japanese dude, I'm not even gonna worry about remembering his name at this particular point.
Fuckface.
Fuckface Japanese dude is like, we'll give you $4,000, right? Like giving them the GameStop equivalent of, hey, voice my game.
When you're being compared to GameStop,
Right,
you've
but
hit
you
a new
can't-
low.
You can't forget that the CEOs and the owners of these companies have to take their 20th vacation of the year and afford that fourth yacht.
Well, I'm sure this Japanese dude is getting the bad end of the stick for being a dick face. I hope so, at least,
Oh, no,
because
he's
money
not. Come
talks, and your opinion is bullshit at this particular point. So, but yeah, I mean Jennifer Hale. I like the idea that they're going to be voicing it, but I don't like the idea that the original voice of Bayonetta, the one that has survived the series from its Wii U, its Wii release, and I mean, I think all I have to say about it at this particular point is uncast Jennifer Hale, pay the original actor what they're worth for the
Hell yeah.
series because it is a beloved niche series and will sell to those niche customers. And sit back and just get the revenue. I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah, it's not hard to pay what people are worth. And companies wonder why people are quick to unionize. This is a good fucking example.
Now, how do
And
you?
companies in the U.S. wonder why they can't find employees.
I wonder how much she's getting paid. Probably not 4,000 though.
Probably more than that because, and here's the worst part: is Helena in I think it's video number 2 or 3, one of the two, that she put out basically calls out Jennifer for her behavior because Jennifer's running around saying she's the voice of Bayonetta. I'm sorry, you just picked up game number 3. That does not make you the voice. Fuck off. What
Right,
would be
and as a
appropriate
games
to
company.
say would be to say, hey, I'm voicing Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3. I could not have been doing this without Helena making the character who she is. Some sort of acknowledgement of where you came from and of who built the character you're voicing.
For as prolific as Jennifer Hale is, I'm going to assume that she was offered this role at a premium. Was like, yeah, I'm going to be Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3, right? Because something happened to the previous actor that she didn't know about. Perhaps maybe that, because I don't think I've ever seen Jennifer Hale actually do anything
Just another name
unsavory.
for the portfolio.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a Guinness Book of World Records holder for her voice acting work, right? She's a prolific actor. The chances are she was offered way more than $4,000 for the role, right? She wasn't a Fiverr gig.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does definitely make you wonder what she was paid versus the actor who was originally Bayonetta.
Don't worry, because we're just brainless insects.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Her brainless
The
insects,
funniest part-
it was a premium.
The
Well,
funniest
at this
part
point,
was
I'm
in
half a mason jar into some tequila, so probably.
what's funny
Drunken
is
brainless insects got you.
there we go. Video 3, Helena specifically says, she's breaking her NDA, but she can't afford right now to run her car. So what are they going to do? Take her clothes? That tells you a lot.
Voice acting
About
work is hard. I mean, even
it
Jesse
is.
Cox has talked about it. That's why he does YouTube, because voice acting work doesn't really pay. Like there's like even some of the most prolific ones like Epic Movie Voice Man, right? He's blind.
Seriously?
Seriously. He's blind and produces some of the most epic movie voices you've ever heard. But he's also producing YouTube on the side. It's really all about the hustle.
So
That's true.
somebody wrote on
I mean-
Twitter, which I retweeted all of the chain of tweets. Their name is Kazuma Hashimoto. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I do apologize. But basically, what they said is the following, and I do think it is about time we pay attention to this. And that is, this would be a great opportunity for people to learn how exploitative the Japanese video game industry and the industry at large is regarding its localization and production pipelines and how it bleeds into voice actor works and contracts, because it's not a one-off thing. We had a similar instance years ago where high-profile English voice actors for anime and video game dubs went on strike due to making less than $800 a month. It's why you see so many voice actors, not just North American and European ones, doing side gigs, because that's how the entertainment industry works on a global scale. This also doesn't factor in how budgets are distributed and what is considered into what are consolidated into what, who is handling localizations, publishers or devs, and if that industry dubs or includes dubs and further production on that side. TLDR, I suggest looking into the Japanese talent industry and the standards there and how it bleeds into video game production. When being overwhelmed and underpaid is the standard, it's going to affect the entire pipeline from from the inside out, outside of the obvious suspects. I agree with all of that.
Absolutely. I mean,
That is
voice
very, very well said.
I mean, voice actor
And
work
this-
by itself is also by the word or phrase and everything else. So that's really where the value is getting someone to say the lines that you want them to say, like enigmatical.
And with the emphasis that you want them to say it with.
Indeed.
Mhm.
Like enigmatical gaming has also had this particular thing come up. They do voice work for audiobooks. And that's effectively what comes up. I mean, I think he did this last one through Casting Call Club. I don't know if it was pro bono. I think he was just doing
As
it
long
for
as
his
it's not
portfolio.
casting couch.
I don't imagine anybody doing voice acting for Casting Couch.
Or Bang Bus.
Oh,
This just evolved rather quickly.
Whee!
how much you want to be paid? 4,000.
Yes.
Ah, it's too high.
Zip.
You gotta lower that cost, babe.
It's too damn high.
Zip.
This taxi don't cost that much.
Unzips pants.
No.
Speaking of cost, the last topic that we have for the night is misrepresenting prices. Go ahead.
Before we move on, I
Sure,
have a
sure.
challenge. I have a challenge.
Oh no.
For gaming developers and movie studios and all of that, make a character who is mute, says nothing, versus a character who is voice acted, and tell me which one people get along with better.
You know, there is a lot of games. I absolutely enjoy a game that can portray things non-verbally.
Yeah.
I think, you know,
Right,
the
but
most...
there's a difference between a game that can convey something non-verbally and a character who is designed to do that, and a character who, for instance, the Bayonetta character, would be talking and conversing, and then just suddenly doesn't. How well would your game sell if your main character did nothing? Or said nothing, rather.
You know, you are the master of nothing. Why don't we expound on that?
No.
But you know you have
You
a
were moving
powerful
on to the next
character.
content.
Oh,
You know, you have
now that's important. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying,
Go
it's
ahead.
gonna. You know, you have a powerful character when they can successfully make other people, I guess, refund or whatever their pre-orders of Bayonetta 3.
Yes. One of our friends, actually, one of my friends on Twitter, she plays WoW. She refunded her pre-order because fuck that guy. And good on her. Good on her for doing that. I fully support that.
Well, the good news is I'm already on that bandwagon because I don't give two shits about Bayonetta.
Hey, there you go.
But in all honesty, stand up for what you believe in. Don't purchase this product. In fact, you know what? Moving forward, at least the next few months until the next awesome game comes out, don't do anything with Platinum Games.
Not until that insect is gone.
Yes.
Exactly.
They need pest control badly.
Absolutely.
Ouch. Are you telling me there's an
Perhaps
insect
maybe
at the
donate
top
to
of the
your
chain?
local food banks, cancer, charities, the Red Cross, St. Javelin.
Ooh, my
If you're
favorite.
looking for
My favorite
Mayflower,
charity is
so-
the what was it? The Last Chance Play. I forgot what it is. It's a charity for children that gives them video game consoles or opportunities to play video games on consoles before they effectively die of some terminal disease. Child's Play. That's what it's
before
called.
their
That's
life
so
subscriptions are
sweet.
canceled.
Before they're
That's
canceled.
insensitive and horrible. I'm sorry.
Before
Wow.
they're canceled from life. Okay.
Jesus.
That's so sweet. Before they're canceled. Oh, Jesus.
Wow. Yeah, see, in my defense, I will say that I have a family member that is looking to terminate their life subscription.
Ladies and
Because they
gentlemen,
have
this is a barcode. He has no emotions, or they have no emotions.
Well, like I said, in
Emotions
my
cost
defense,
an
I have a
extra
family
monthly
member who's
subscription.
looking to terminate their life subscription because they have ALS, and I understand that, and I support that because ALS is horrifying. There you go. Donate to ALS societies near you.
Donate to what
ALS
makes
is
you feel
awful.
good about yourself for not spending money on a video game
Yes.
sponsored by a xenophobe bigot. There you go.
Donate to my goldfish?
Spend it on your goldfish. Give them new things
Dude.
to hide in.
Goldie needs more sand.
Yes. Moving on.
Moving on.
Lawsuit
Let's
accuses
please.
State of Survival makers of misleading pricing.
Oh, good lord.
Complaints claim developer misled users by advertising sales next to normal prices it never charged.
You know,
Sounds like that sounds like Valentine's Day at the grocery store when you go to buy a dozen roses and they're like $50 when they're normally priced for like $25.
but you never see them for like $50 ever.
Yeah, or you go to buy a box of condoms and they're on sale for $20 and the regular price is $20.
I don't know. I don't think
No,
I ever
we-
trust on-sale condoms. Like that sounds like a bad plan.
They're close to their expiry. Quick, use them. Some of their advertising, actually, I don't have any links or anything to any of this, but it's just what I've noticed from mobile gaming. Some of their advertising is actually misleading as well.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And there's a lot of mobile gaming that's doing misleading advertising, showing you things that are the trending thing to do in the mobile gaming world, but don't exist in the game at all.
Yeah. Did you not notice? I noticed.
Oh, we're not doing this. No,
Pepper
we're not
Farm
doing this.
reviews.
Look, I noticed their notice of sale pricing. You should notice my noticing of their notice.
I'll notice your notice when it's not and I'm not a guest in a podcast. We're not going to break all of his audience here. Come on.
Oh, come on. I'm sure by now the audience has noticed that I noticed the notices.
Oh, I'm sure they noticed all the noticing.
It is noted.
Oh, yeah.
It has been noted.
Erupted into noticing.
And the mimosas are talking.
Yes.
Oh,
The tequila is hitting.
I'm 7 ciders and 2 shiners into this, so everything is fuzzy. So,
I'm going to go stream after this.
we.
I will
I'm going to go
harass
play
you.
Chivalry 2 after this.
Oh no.
So the entire idea is that there's a lawsuit against this game called, I have my notepad up.
State of Survival.
State of Survival, and it's not uncommon to this particular title. And in particular, there's actually another mobile title that's being hit for this. And it's for the fact that they're advertising. And speaking frankly, you've been into free play games where they're like, buy our in-game currency, and they're always gems or dildos or something, and you have to buy them. And whenever you go to buy them, it's always at slash pricing. And by slash pricing, I mean you'll see a price and a slash through it, and then a price that you actually buy it for. Normally $99.99, but you can buy this for $89.99, right? And the entire crux of this discussion is that if it's always $89.99, was it ever $99.99 if they never sold it at $99.99? That's where the class action lawsuit comes in.
Right. Is it technically a sale if it's ever actually on sale?
That's right. So selling it at $89.99 when you're saying it should be $99.99, is it really $99.99? And we've all seen it. Every microtransaction mobile title that you've ever seen has some sort of in-game currency, and everything is at slash pricing after $20.
Or in their case, $9.97 or $9.99 versus $997.40 USD.
And it's not isolated to just 2 particular mobile platforms. I swear to you, all mobile platforms have this type of appeal. Time limited, gotta get it now. It's on sale, you're gonna miss out, and it creates a sense of urgency for people to impulse buy. And that is the manipulative practice that the lawsuit is actually representing. Why are you representing a price that never was? That
It's
you're
like
selling
having a
below?
Black Friday sale all year long.
Right.
Because it makes you more money.
Yeah. And that's really what it's all about, is making money.
And the
It's
issue,
so stupid.
at least in my opinion, and this is an opinion show. In my opinion, at least, mobile gaming is relatively new, legally speaking. So there's not as many regulations and laws to protect the consumer in the mobile gaming theater, which is probably why these practices are so widespread.
Probably, but that's also where we get to thank California, because it's California's advertising laws that are what got them nailed. And that's good. Because as much as people might not like, all the warnings they get on every product they buy, in the state of California, blank, blah, blank, blah, blank has been known to cause cancer.
Literally
Everything's been known to cause cancer.
Everything.
Broccoli has
Like-
been known to cause cancer.
Actually, let me see.
Breathing has been known to cause cancer.
I have some
Perhaps
Having
you
Old
should
sex
Spice
has
deodorant
been known
here.
to cause cancer.
Cancer
Exactly.
has been known to cause cancer, yes.
Exactly. So as much as we might make fun of California laws and warnings, at least it has benefited the rest of the fucking world, because thankfully that's where they're being sued, because
Actually,
under
hold on.
California law, you can't say that shit.
I have a thing of Old Spice deodorant here. Not sponsored.
I
It doesn't
can't
say anything
whistle.
about that.
If you state of California, it's been known to cause cancer.
No, it's not on there.
It's like, hey baby, you smell an awful like cancer today.
You see, that's called Axe body spray.
Ooh. Let's see. I have a tube of bicycle lube here, which I used for my flight stick at one point.
Sure.
Bicycle.
No,
I'm
lube,
legit.
bicycle.
It's legit.
Whoa, hold on,
Okay.
hold on.
That's
hold
cool.
on, hold on.
It's Park. You can look this up online. It's Park Tool.
Bicycle lube.
normally-
T-O-O-L.
flight sticks.
It's for
Lube and
bicycle
sticks.
gears. It's for bicycle
Normally you
gear.
don't call it bicycle lube. You call it chain lubricant or bicycle
chain
lubricant. When you
We'll
call
call it
something
that.
lube, Rule 34
It's
applies,
called
sir.
polylube. What do you want me to say? It's polylube.
I guess
No,
you
That's
could put
literally
yourself
what's on the
at flight
bottle.
risk.
I
Oh.
love this podcast. Okay.
Where did you
Okay. Completely derailed. So, mobile transactions bullshit. Never trust. Just stop downloading free apps.
Here's the remainder of the show summed up in one sound.
Oh,
By the way, also, this has no warning about in California.
may cause cancer.
Just don't put it in your mouth.
Oh no! You're getting
Oh,
no.
Oh,
Doink.
actually, I've also got some lottery tickets here. I wonder if these cause cancer.
They probably will, especially if you don't hit the jackpot.
just don't sniff the shavings. All
Your
right.
tears will cause cancer.
Oh no.
We are over time. Let's get our round table out of the way.
Oh, this is what happens when you
That's
drink.
it. I'm checking out.
Oh, Amy, checked out. What have you got going on this upcoming week?
I have more work-related shenanigans. Being in a union is all kinds of fun, especially when people start acting dumb, so I get to deal with that. But also, I hit level 79 on my Death Knight in WoW Classics. I'm hoping to hit level 80 very, very shortly. Other than that, I will be harassing Vatniks online on Twitter because fuck those guys. You can find me over at Twitter at twitter.com/IME21.
If you haven't noticed, Amy at this particular point has a handsome fella as his avatar, and it is quite
Yes.
the handsomest fellow because the
I am.
barcode is on the lapel.
Yes, I'm a very handsome fellow.
Barcodius.
You can make a donation to St. Javelin, or make a purchase from stjavelin.com, and you can follow the tweets around to find Kamala and get yourself a fella of your own if you
And
so
also
desire.
the
And that way
fella-
we can kick the shit out of Vatniks.
You know,
Get
I
the
fella
fuck
has
out of
I
these
need a
guys.
Lumi fella, so I'm gonna totally do that after this podcast is done.
Sorry, you were saying crit?
Said now the Lumi comes with a tank.
Yes. I also have a tonk thanks to the wonderful, beautiful Crit Chicken. Thank you.
Here, post that real quick. I'll put it up on stream.
Oh, tonk. Where did I put tonk?
Are you telling me Barcodius Supremus is now a Tunkius Maximus?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
and I put it somewhere.
This way, when he
Some-
wins a conversation, he can say, "Thank you, come again."
Tonks. Tonks have stonks.
Thanks for the memories.
Where the
Well, while he
fuck did
looks
I put
for it,
that?
Chris, what have you got coming up for this week? You have new artwork and all kinds of awesome things. Tell me, what is happening in the world of cred?
I am trying to get to level 80 just like Amy is. I'm level 78 on my Boomkin because I like destroying things, but I actually would have been 80 by now had I not done my professions. I'm trying to use my tablet more, but I'm still elementary school level drawing skill, but maybe one day I could improve. But other than that, I have a little bit over a month to plot out how I'm going to kidnap a barcode.
Well, I mean, you've already got a plane
Yay.
ticket down there. You don't have to kidnap him. He's going to like knock on your door and like, "Yo, would you like to scan me?"
Shh.
But yeah,
So I
not
found
much.
Tonk. I will post the image of Tonk in chat.
There you
is
go.
the image of Tonk. That is by the beautiful, wonderful Crit Chicken. She was so gracious enough to create this wonderful image for me. Thank you very much, sweetie.
Yo, I'm bad at drawing, but at least I'm decent with photomanip.
It is beautiful. I thoroughly enjoy this because now I can go beat up some Vatniks.
There we go. We'll
Some
put it in the upper
tankies.
right-hand corner there, right above my head. I'll wear it as a hat. There we go. Tonks.
Oh,
there
there
you
you
go. Tonk.
And that's what this show is all about, supporting who we appreciate the most, right?
Yar.
Indeed.
I don't see it.
Oh, it's because I'm showing
yeah, it's not
everything
there.
else. Hold on. Where did it go? Oh, no. Hold on. It's here somewhere. Is it?
That tonk was so strong it broke the fabric of reality.
Dude, you have no
It
idea.
did.
Look at me. I will now wear you as a hat.
There we go.
Yay.
Oh boy.
There we go. The good fella. He's a handsome fella. Indeed. Let's get to Bombredeemer. Bombredeemer, tell us about you. Follow and subscribe Bombredeemer on Twitch and Video Redeemer on Twitter. Go ahead, Mr. Redeemer.
Video
What do you got
Redeemer
coming
on
up? What's going on? Tell us about your exciting plans. Tell us about Club Redeemer.
Yes, Club Redeemer is my Discord server for all streamers in my quote-unquote partnership. Really just friends of mine who like to stream and create content for YouTube and Twitch. A place for everyone to hang out, communicate, advertise for their own streams, and grow their audiences together. I'm trying to maintain a schedule through my hectic life on Twitch and trying to get videos edited and uploaded to my YouTube channel.
Amen,
Twitter
brother.
is... I don't really use Twitter.
You should shit post more.
I don't shitpost. I can't.
I will teach you.
I don't know the ways.
I will teach you the ways of shit posting.
This is the way.
I'll just post empty boxes and go look at my nothing.
Yes.
It's free real estate.
Oh, yes, free real estate.
Look at the nothing.
The nothing. There's so much nothing. I'm running out of space for my nothing.
Buy
Actually,
nothing today.
My favorite quote from the original advertisement I did for nothing. We dropped the nothing from 2,000 feet, unsupported, no parachute, straight into the ground. Nothing survived.
You have been
Nothing
reduced to nothing.
Nothing survives everything.
Yes.
Kind of like that tank that ran over those strips.
Oh God.
Oh,
That
man.
fucking. Oh my God.
Oh, the video of the Russian tank running over the landmines today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that AFV. I went into the comment section of that thread, and apparently, it's related to the fact that the hatches were closed, so nobody was looking above the vehicle. And when you're looking through the ports on the viewports on those things, they're so narrow. You've got like a 50-ish meter gap between you and the road that you can't see. So 50 meters out of your vehicle in front of you is roughly where you can start seeing. And because the guy took that turn so sharp, there's no way he would have seen the fucking mines and decided to go drive over top of the mines. Oh, it's beautiful.
So
I
were
do
they
like
in
your hat,
combat?
Lumi.
Did they not have any reason for someone to pop their head out of the tank and go, "Hey, maybe we
Probably
shouldn't go
they
this
had
way"?
just been under fire, would be my
Ah.
guess. I really like the hat, Lumi. My Tonks is amazing.
Well, it is kind of unfortunate we didn't get to see yet another Russian tank send its turret to the stratosphere.
Yeah. But the gold medal still belongs to the one that was captured by the, I think it was the Japanese news service. They were filming, they were on this highway, and this tank exploded, and you see the turret go like 300 meters in the air. It's gorgeous. And that was back in, what, March, I think it was? But yeah, that was beautiful.
So what's interesting about, and this is just my my take on Bombredeemer, he's a very creative person and has collected a lot of creative talent to create a lot of creative things in Minecraft, Space Engineers, and other items where you can create things. I know it's very broad, but most specifically, I'm very impressed with Mr. Redeemer and the
I
work that
like
he has done
space.
with his Redeemerlings, I guess I should call them.
Bomb, we should go do some Empyrean again.
Yes, we need to get back.
I
into
like that
that.
more than Space Engineers, to be fair. I like it more than Space Engineers.
See,
Although,
The
that
engineering side
giant-
of me likes Space Engineers because I get rotors, pistons, and hinges. I don't
But-
have that in Empyrean, so the engineer
but-
can't be fully released.
Oh,
but we can go dismantle bases.
Yes,
And
we can do
I
that.
can go make my planet killers.
But there's also several mods now for space engineers that you can use for an immersive experience in the galaxy, in which multiple AI and NPC factions will spawn land bases and ships that will actually show up.
But
and
see,
assault your
those are
bases.
mods. They're not part of the core game. That's what Empyrean has.
But they're lightweight.
But it's core game for Empyrean.
But they're lightweight.
Core game.
I don't even know what's going on here.
We'll be fighting over this for the next 6 hours. Don't mind us. Mod, core game. Mod, core game. Mod, core game.
No, what I really want to do is I want to get a bunch of people together and I want to go play Factorio.
Yes.
And
I
just
would
see
love
what
to do some
psychotic
Factorio.
crap we can come up with.
Can we make that really, really, really big artillery system again?
Yes, yes, yes.
You mean the cinnamon
Yeah.
bun snake artillery system that you showed me?
The cinnamon
the
bun
one that was
from
just-
hell.
That was oversized, overgunned, and wiped out the entire inhabitants of the entire planet. Yes.
Nice.
Complete with an auto-loading system that was obscene in length and girth.
Yep.
Yes.
When it can you feel it? It's
You
oink.
felt it,
It's
whether you wanted to or not.
girth.
Let me go ahead and let's wrap up the podcast because we are effectively
need to
12
not
minutes
drink,
past.
This is getting dangerously not safe for work.
Thank you.
I need to not drink when I do this.
Thank you. No, this was probably the most fun. Thank you for joining us on the UDP broadcast, where we offer both an uninformed and informed opinions on things happening in the gaming
Uneducated
universe.
guesses.
Uneducated guesses as well. Yes. I don't have much else planned except to go ahead and promote the podcast and do all the things I should do as a podcast host to make things happen. Other than that, please give us a follow. Twitch.tv, Luminary Weekly, YouTube.com/C/Luminary Weekly. And keep an eye out. We are live every Saturday at 10:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's UTC -5. Keep an eye on Twitter at twitter.com/Luminary Weekly for any updates, along with IME21 Needs Espresso and,
Video_Redeemer.
well, yeah, him too, for sure. But Nordic
No,
Cajun.
don't follow me. I don't use it.
You don't follow me.
I'm trying to be nice to you.
I'm not trying to be a leader. I want to be the follower.
I am a follower.
Join us next week for more shenanigans. I'm Luminary, and I bid you a farewell.
Good night,
Crew,
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Nothing.